Hey, this is Russ. You know, having the biggest, most powerful, fastest e-bike on the market is not for everyone. Now, I know that there are people who do want the biggest, the fastest, most powerful bikes out there, but I'm not one of them. Yeah. And I think a lot of people in my age group might not be either. Yeah. And if you think about it, a lot of e-bikes are sold to people over 60 years old. I mean, the e-bike gets us back out on the road. It gets us outside. It gives us something to do. I mean, many of us haven't been on a bike in so long. It's exciting to be able to say, hey, I can go on a bike at 60 plus years old, something I haven't done in so long, and I could go miles and miles and miles. That's exciting. But do we need the most powerful bike? I don't think so. You know, people have asked me, you know, you've made changes to your e-bike. Let me show you my e-bike. You guys all have seen this before. I've changed my batteries and stuff. Says, oh, you got a more powerful bike. No, I don't. It's the same bike. The only difference that this battery is really kind of giving me is it's giving me more range. I can go farther places with two batteries, right? It's a more powerful bike. Okay, it went from 48 volts to 52 volts. That gives me a little bit more get up and go when I hit that throttle. But eventually it drops back down because, you know, as the battery starts to be used, it starts dropping from 52 volts. Eventually it gets back down to the range where a 48 volt would have started at. So in the sense of that, I don't have the most powerful bike. I didn't upgrade the speed, okay? I just gave myself more range. And I think that's really more important for many of us if you want to go some distance. So what about these more powerful bikes? I mean, you could change a lot of things. I can change the motor out. Many people feel that the Rad Rover 5, which I have, it does not have a 750 watt motor as they claim. Many people feel it has a 500 watt motor that peaks at 750. That's possible. So they said, why don't you change the motor? Okay, bring it to a full 750. Or they say, why don't you change the bike's controller? Okay, you can buy more powerful controllers that'll allow that bike to go quicker and have more torque going up the hills. Now that, I would say, it might be worth it to be able to get up certain hills easier, okay? But I wouldn't do it for the sake of trying to get more speed out of it, because really it's gonna still max out to a certain, you know, setting. My bike has a legal setting of 20 miles per hour. It could be modified to go up to 25 miles an hour, okay? So they've asked me, why don't you do that? I mean, you've already gotten everything else there. Why don't you just change that controller? I know that Bolton e-bikes, which is now named Area 13, has sales on this controller, by the way, in case you do want to do it, right? They had like 1,000 of these controllers in stock, all right? So you could change that controller and get a little more torque out of that thing. But I've read some reviews from others who have done it, and they said, you know, it's kind of like learning a brand new bike because that thing has some kick to it when you hit that throttle. And I don't know if I really want that. Quite frankly, I don't want to be tossed off my bike from, you know, something that kicks so quickly and hard. The Rad Rover kind of goes a little bit slower. When you hit that throttle, it takes just a tad more of time before it starts pulling up. And to me, that's kind of a safety. I kind of like that, all right? Now, if you're at a stoplight and you need to move forward, you know, through the intersection quicker, yeah, having a little extra kick might be nice, but not everyone needs that, quite frankly. So I debated it myself. I says, you know, for $200, should I make this upgrade? And I thought about it. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't ride my bike for those purposes. I ride my bike because I need to get outside just to get some fresh air. I need a little exercise. I help exercise my knee with my replaced knee, okay? So when I look at that, I go, I can do all that with the bike I have now. So I don't think I need it. Now, you may say, well, it's not good for you, but it's good for others. It's true. Some people will benefit with a better controller and a more powerful motor, or maybe a mid-drive bike, or, you know, there's different types of things you can do to improve your bike. But am I one that would want one of these Super 73 bikes, or something that, you know, I've seen these bikes on the internet. You know, some of these guys are going close to 40 miles an hour. I don't know if that's good, quite frankly. I've seen how some of these guys ride, and it's a little dangerous, quite frankly. They're on the road, and they're zipping by. I mean, they're passing cars even, and I'm thinking that can't be good for the e-bike industry. You know, with a lot of people not liking e-bikes because they think they're a little dangerous and stuff, and you know, you have guys that are gonna ride a little bit harder like that. It's not helping, quite frankly. It's not helping us. So in that sense, it's not for everyone. Is it for a kid who would like to have a little more daredevil type of approach? Yeah, it's probably for that guy. Not saying that they can't do it. If they want to do it, it's up to them. But I'm just saying, be a little responsible at least. You know, be careful with your bike and how you approach things while you're in traffic. Because I've seen groups of people on the internet who will go out on rides, and these guys are just tearing up the streets, and that's not helpful. So that's not good. Now, here's another thing I want to say too, is if you're looking to get more range, okay, upgrading your battery is one way of doing it, but getting a more powerful motor may not necessarily be the way to do it, okay? A more powerful motor, it's going to eat up more battery, which means it's going to cut down your range. Like, if I were to change my controller, okay, I might get a little bit more torque and stuff, but yeah, it's going to eat into the battery a little bit. It's gonna take some power to do it, and so I might lose some range for that. Now, people have said too that you don't lose that much range. That controller change doesn't make that much of a change. Okay, I take it that that's probably true, but if you're not really into trying to get the fastest bike out there, there's no real reason to make that modification. Okay. Now, people have said too, if you make modifications like this, you are you're going to lose your warranty. That's true. Okay, but the Rad Power Bike's warranty is about a year. I bought mine in April of last year. You know, by the time I'm ready to ride again, it'll be April again. I've already lost my warranty. There is no warranty. Plus, I've made modifications to my bike. I put a different kind of battery, so I had to cut into the wiring in order to allow me to put those batteries readily available onto the power system. And if I change that controller, that obviously changes the whole game, okay? And I've changed my brakes too already. I put a hydraulic caliper. I didn't do a full hydraulic brake system in there. Here's a couple reasons why I didn't make that change either. Since we're talking about these changes, I didn't change it to a full hydraulic brake because I didn't want to mess with the cabling. I kind of like the fact that I have a bell on my handbrake system. Doing the full hydraulics, I've seen people have had issues too of, you know, having to bleed the line out and stuff and put new oils and all that stuff. I didn't want to do all that. Now, you may say you may have to do that with the caliper, but that's just the caliper. That's not the entire line. If that line goes out, you lose your brake, okay? You could say things negative about the mechanical brakes too. You know, it is a wire that's there, and if something's messed up with the wire, you can mess up. But it's a simpler device, quite frankly. I only wanted the calipers because I didn't want to make the adjustments every 3 or 4 rides. You know, with the mechanical brakes, you do have to make adjustments because as things wear down, you got to move the brake a little closer. Only one side of the brake pad moves, the other side doesn't move. So it's not a very precise type system. And I felt that changing the calipers to a hydraulic caliper, not a full hydraulic system, would be easier for me on the long run. I wouldn't have to make these adjustments constantly. I do check the brakes every time before I go out. I'll pull on the handbrake just to see if I have actually some spot stopping power there. And as long as that's okay, I can move forward. And if I have to make an adjustment, it's a little screw thing that I don't even need a tool. It's just a little knob. I turn the knob and it brings it a little closer. So it's an easier setup for me. But yeah, it was costly. It cost me $149 to do that. And people have said you could have gone to a cheaper one, but you don't want to cheap out on your brakes. The brakes are kind of important. So I wanted something that was proven, and this Juin Tech M1 seems to be a fairly well-respected brake system. Not everyone feels it was a major upgrade for them. I don't feel it was either, but it was a convenience upgrade for me. And that's why I did that. Anyways, with all that said and done, I just wanted to say that, you know, just be aware that not everyone needs more power. Not everyone needs the fastest and biggest and best in that sense. Just being able to get out there with a more conservative type of bike might be just as good. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys next time.